Hi friends, welcome to New Mechanical Mind. First, I am thanking you all for supporting our channel. If you are new to our channel, kindly subscribe immediately. In this video, we are going to see about MSA study. Most of you well aware about this MSA study and some of you may not aware about this MSA study. MSA study is a big topic. We are going to see that within 10 minutes simply and shortly. MSA study. In this topic, what are all the contents we are going to see are classification of variation, two major measurement variation, what is bias, what is stability, what is linearity, what is repeatability, what is reproducibility, applicable MSA study for variable and attribute gauge. These are all the contents we are going to see in this video. In this video, you will definitely learn about many new things. So kindly watch this video up to end. Let us go into the training. First, classification of variation. Now we are going to see about what are all the classification in variation. First, overall variation. Overall variation includes part-to-part variation and measurement system variation. Part-to-part variation we cannot eliminate. It will come in all the parts. So measurement system variation only we can control. In measurement system variation, it includes location variation and width variation. Location variation contains bias, stability, and linearity. On the other hand, width variation contains repeatability and reproducibility. These are all the classification of variation. After seeing the previous slide, most of you now identified the two major measurement variations. Okay, let us see the two major measurement variations. First one, location variation. It is the difference between the observed average value and true value of the part. Second one, width variation. It is the difference between the observed values. Location variation and width variation are the two major measurement variations in any measurement. Next, what is bias? Bias is the difference between the observed average of measurement and the reference value. The reference value, also known as the accepted reference value or master value, is a value that serves as an agreed upon reference for the measured values. A reference value can be determined by averaging several measurements with a higher level of measurement equipment. What is stability? Stability or drift is the total variation in the measurements obtained with a measurement system on the same master or part when measuring a single characteristic over an extended time period. This is called stability. What is linearity? When we are using an instrument within lower range, there will be a smaller bias. If we are operating that instrument at a higher range, the bias will be more. So linearity is the difference in the bias values through the expected operating range of the gauge. Next, what is repeatability? Repeatability is the variation in measurements obtained on same part by one appraiser with one measuring instrument when used several times while measuring the identical characteristic. This is called repeatability. Next, what is reproducibility? Reproducibility is the variation in the average of the measurements made on the same part by different appraiser by using same measuring instrument while measuring the identical characteristic. This is called reproducibility. Applicable MSA study for variable and attribute gauge. Now we are going to see about what are all the MSA studies applicable for variable and attribute gauges. This is the matrix for MSA study versus variable and attribute gauges. In this matrix, we can see clearly that bias, stability, linearity, repeatability, and reproducibility all are applicable to variable instruments. And we can see that repeatability and reproducibility only applicable for attribute gauges. Now I think you got some idea about applicable MSA studies for variable and attribute gauges. Now briefly we are going to see about all MSA studies. First one, bias study. Procedure for bias study is one appraiser, one parameter, one place, 15 reading. In this, important is reference value. The reference value of the part which is selected for this bias study is very, very important. Acceptance criteria for this bias study is: first, bias is acceptable at the alpha level if 0 falls within the 1 minus alpha confidence bounds around the bias value. In this, lower value should be less than or equal to 0, that is 0 or minus value. Upper value should be greater than or equal to 0, that is 0 or positive value. Second, bias should be less than the permissible error defined in the calibration procedure. Each and every industry will have their own calibration procedure and permissible error for the instruments. The bias should be lesser than that permissible error. These two are the acceptance criteria for bias study. Next, variable gr&r study. In this variable gr&r study, procedure is 3 abrasor, 10 parts, 1 parameter, 1 place, 3 trials to be conducted. In this variable gr&r study, important thing is the range of selected parts for trial should be closer to minimum and maximum value to the specification. That means among 10 parts, 1 part should be closer to minimum specification, 1 part should be closer to the maximum value of the specification. This is required to conduct the variable gr&r study accurately. Acceptance criteria for variable gr&r study. If R&R value is coming lesser than 10%, it is acceptable. If R&R value coming greater than 10% and lesser than 30%, it is maybe acceptable based on the requirement. If R&R percentage is coming more than 30%, then it is not acceptable. And NDC value should come greater than or equal to 5. These are all the acceptance criteria for variable gr&r study. Next, attribute gr&r study. Procedure for attribute gr&r study is 3 abrasor, 50 parts, 1 parameter, 3 trials to be conducted. So overall 450 observations will come. In attribute gr&r study, important thing is take minimum 6 to maximum 10 samples at border values to specification limits. That means we have to take minimum 6 or maximum 10 samples at the border value. That means very closer to minimum specification and maximum specification. Then only we can judge the inspector's capability and skill through this attribute gr&r study. Acceptance criteria for attribute gr&r study. This is the acceptance criteria for attribute gr&r study. The different levels for good, average and not accepted are given in this table. Based on the trial result, we can judge the abrasors criteria based on this acceptance criteria. Next, stability study. Procedure for stability study is 1 appraiser, 5 parts, 1 parameter, 1 trial, 25 days. That means 4 weeks. One appraiser will check 5 parts one time on daily basis up to 25 days, and then he will record the observations in the format. Then the format will give the result. In stability study, important thing is use trained or experienced appraiser to conduct the study, and stability study to be performed in same room temperature. Acceptance criteria for stability study is CPK greater than or equal to 1.67 is acceptable. CPK greater than 1.33 and lesser than 1.67 may be acceptable. CPK less than 1.33 not accepted. These are the acceptance criteria for stability study. Finally, linearity study. Procedure for linearity study is 1 appraiser greater than or equal to 5 parts, 1 parameter greater than or equal to 10 trials to be conducted. This is the procedure for linearity study. In linearity study, important thing is sample to be taken for more than 50% range of the instrument, and the person who is handling the instrument regularly should be the appraiser. These two are the important things to be followed in linearity study. Acceptance criteria for linearity study is actual probability less than theoretical probability is acceptable. This is the acceptance criteria for linearity study. Okay friends, this MSA study video ends with this. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have liked this video, kindly press the like button and share this video to your other friends also. Your likes will motivate me to prepare and upload further videos in future at the earliest. If you have not subscribed so far, kindly subscribe immediately and press the bell button to receive the notification during uploading next video. If you have any doubts or comments, kindly mention them in the comment box. We will meet again in next video. Thank you.